How's it going, folks? Welcome back to the random video blog here today. Originally, I was going to be talking about the road to WrestleMania and SummerSlam coming up in a couple months, but I got delayed in filming that video. And in the time that I was going to film that video, I was going to film it actually right now, but in that time earlier today, news broke from WWE that AJ Lee has officially retired from in-ring competition from WWE. So a bit of a shocking development, both shocking and not so shocking. I'll get into that right now. I don't want to get into the full details. I mean, this is only coming out. I'm only filming this around 8 o'clock Eastern time, so the news broke only a couple of hours ago while I was on my way home from college, so the details are not out yet as to why it happened, but we can all speculate. I mean, I don't want to jump to conclusions or assume here. If we assume, you make an ass out of you and me, of course, but I mean, the writing's been on the wall for a long time. I mean, I have gone on the record and said, after all the rumors of her not coming back due to being pregnant and being frustrated and blah, 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 you know, that's been rumored maybe 3 or 4 times in the last year after CM Punk left the company, who she had been seeing for a long time. They got married last summer, and she had been with the company for a while after that point. You know, AJ Lee's been with WWE since, I want to say 2008 or 2009. She debuted on TV in 2010. But her and Punk have been seeing each other for a while now. Like I said, got married last summer. And she remained with the company. There's been a lot of rumors as to whether she was pregnant or not coming back. And every single time she took time off, she would always come back. So that was a stupid rumor. And I would always prove that wrong. But, you know, she did not take time off. You would think that if she was going to leave, that she would have just not coming back from her hiatus from a couple months ago, from her hiatus. She was off after TLC, after she dropped the Divas title to Nikki at Survivor Series. She got a rematch at TLC, took some time off for a couple months. A lot of people didn't think that she'd be back at all, but I mentioned that, you know, on Twitter a couple of times she wasn't the promotional material for the event. And wouldn't you know, lo and behold, she did come back for the show in that great episode of Raw a couple months ago, or about a month or so ago. Great segment in her hometown, so an awesome moment for AJ to come back. She worked the Divas tag match at WrestleMania, her and Paige beating the Bell Twins. And I thought it was a bit weird, too, because she was the one who pinned or made Nikki submit. And I originally thought, okay, that's going to build to, you know, her getting a Divas title match down the road. And, you know, of course, it's not possible anymore because she's done. But, she was also in action the following night on Raw, and I think a 6-Diva tag team match, her, Paige, and Naomi beating the Bella Twins and Natalya. She did not get the pin in that match, but she was still on the winning end of that matchup. And that was about it. She was not on Main Event or Superstars or SmackDown of last week. Like I said, the news broke earlier today via Twitter, via WWE. The news is on their website as well, so it is not an April Fool's joke. Unfortunately, I mean, AJ's been one of my favorite divas for a long time now, dating back to when she first debuted in WWE. On NXT back in 2010. Probably one of the best things about that Diva season. That's not a slight to the women on that show, just the way the WWE handled it. I'm not going to go on a huge rant about NXT right now, but the Diva season was atrocious because WWE just completely mishandled it and treated it like a joke. But out of that show, we got Naomi, we got Kaitlyn, we got AJ, we got Oksana for until she was released, and you know, Kaitlyn left on her own terms as well. And I think Naomi is the only alumni from that season that is still around. I forgot what the other chick's name was. She was gone immediately after the show ended. I think even before the show ended. I forgot what her name was. And then we also had Maxine, who ended up getting cut or left on her own terms, quit, whatever, back in 2012. So Naomi's the only alumni from that season of NXT that's still around. But back to AJ, though. Like I said, the writing's been on the wall for quite some time. I just read a report, and this is lordsofbane.net, not the most reliable wrestling source out there. They were saying that AJ acted a little bit weird after her match. It was, you know, telling Paige that she loved her. I mean, that's nothing really out of the ordinary. This is the same 2 girls that had the whole the lesbian storyline last year and all this other stupid stuff, and which I did not approve of. I thought the feud could have been a lot better than it was. Not to discredit, you know, the work of the women that they put into it, AJ and Paige. WWE, the way they booked it, handled it, whatever, it was not great. Nevertheless, though, I didn't think there was really anything out of the ordinary in that matchup. I mean, like I said, I figured it was only a matter of time before she left the company. I didn't think it'd be so sudden, though. And it's unfortunate, because I feel like, you know, we could have had that one more match with AJ, with her, you know, her final match at WrestleMania or something like that. And unfortunately, that was not the case. And the news just kind of broke. And it is much like CM Punk in the way that we didn't know that she'd be done. The news kind of broke that she's retired and that's it. At least with Lita and Trish, like, I don't want to compare her to them, even though she is one of the greatest women of all time and she will be in the Hall of Fame one day, I'm sure, I'm positive. But I do feel like, that she did deserve that final recognition. And they did have a good match at WrestleMania. It wasn't anything stellar, if only if they were given more time. I I understand their time constraints, but I'm glad they were on the show at all. It's still a good match, and I feel like, had they been building up that it would have been a retirement match or AJ's final match, it would have meant more. It would have gotten more attention. It would have gotten more people talking. But still, though, I mean, she contributed a lot to the WWE in the 5 or 6 years that she's been here, or was here, of course, in the WWE, which is longer stints than most people. I mean, most divas aren't around for too long. They're only around for a few years. And in that, the few years that they're here left for, if they're around for 6, 7, 8 years, like Alicia Fox or Layla, in their final few years, they're not really relevant. And I don't, not to discredit Alicia Fox or Layla, I love those girls, but I feel like, WWE doesn't really have anything else for them. AJ, went from being a rookie on that season of NXT, had the great pairing with Daniel Bryan. I thought that was a match made in heaven at that time. And her character development has been great over the last couple of years, going from the shy, innocent competitor to becoming the crazy chick and kind of feuding with Daniel Bryan, costing him the World Heavyweight title, according to Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 28. Doing the whole feud with Caitlyn, winning the Divas Championship, doing the thing with CM Punk and Kane, becoming the Raw General Manager, the longest Divas Champion, reigning Divas Champion in WWE history, winning that title 3 times, main eventing Raw, being involved in the main event of pay-per-views as well. So she's seemingly done it all in the WWE. We were finally able to see that dream feud with Paige, so that is not a regret of mine. I mean, it did not live up to my high expectations, but we still got the feud and the matches nevertheless, so that is something I can't complain about. I did note this on Twitter only minutes before I ended up filming this video, but I am a little bit disappointed we did not end up getting the matchup between her and Stephanie. And I wrote an article about this immediately following the Royal Rumble pay-per-view earlier this year, and I feel like that would have been a great match. I mean, maybe not from an in-ring standpoint, but from a character and a storyline standpoint, I feel like it would have been great. They teased it back in 2013, I want to say. They teased it late last year as well, and they also went back and forth on Twitter for a while, only about a month or two ago. That's all the whole hashtag Give Divas a Chance thing kind of really heated up and got noticed, was because of AJ replying to a few of Stephanie's tweets on Twitter. So I'm very regretful we were not able to get that matchup at WrestleMania. I feel like it would have been perfect at WrestleMania. She comes back and is finally the one to give Stephanie her comeuppance. I mean, at this point, it looks like it might be Ronda Rousey, which I'm not complaining is also going to be equally great. But I feel like the characters of Stephanie and AJ would have been perfectly meshed together from a storyline standpoint in the match. I mean, AJ is a great worker. I mean, not to discredit Brie Bella, she's come a long way. So not to shit on her or anything like that, but even Brie Bella, who is not the greatest in-ring worker in the world, I think AJ is a bit better. I mean, not to say that Brie is terrible. Like I said, I don't want to go on a huge rant about this or get off topic. But Stephanie and Brie had a really good match, one of the best matches on that night, in my personal opinion, from SummerSlam of last year. So if those two ladies could have a great match, I feel like her and AJ can have an even better match. And I'll be at SummerSlam this year, so I would have loved to see that match. AJ versus Stephanie, of course, not going to be able to come to fruition with AJ now leaving the company. And like I said, we can only really speculate. Has she gotten the notification? Has she since realized that she's pregnant, or what happened? We really have no idea. I mean, we'll probably find out either later tonight or over the weekend or whenever. Did CM Punk, her legitimate real-life husband, have something to do with it? I mean, maybe. I know it must not be the most comfortable of positions to be in for her, with her husband being on terrible terms with the company and her kind of speaking out, and it must be a very, uncomfortable working place. I mean, I don't blame her for leaving. So, I mean, we all figured it was a matter of time. Just the fashion it happened, I'm not really, thrilled with. I feel like it would have been great if she came out on Monday, or even this past week, had her win at WrestleMania, or have her win at WrestleMania and then come out on Raw and say she was retiring or is going to have one more match, have one final match, whatever. I feel like it would have been a better way of going out and kind of giving her fans, and there's tons of them, myself included, kind of giving them what they deserved and giving her a final farewell in the WWE. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, we could always get a final promo or a match. I doubt we're going to get a final match. They already said that she's retired from in-ring competition. So I don't know if that means she's done from WWE. They just said that she was retired from the ring. So I don't know if she's still with the company. I doubt it. Or if she's going to go, she's not going to go wrestle for TNA. I think we know that. I think she just might be done in general. And, Punk's a wealthy guy, and she obviously made a lot of money in her time with WWE. So if she retired today, I'm sure she'll be pretty well off for the rest of her life if she never steps in a ring again. But like I said, on Monday we could get a final promo from her. I would love to see that. I don't count on it, but it would be great. Better than the old WWE.com announcement wishing the best in her future endeavors. I feel like that would be a suitable way of going out. I mean, I know it's You know, they might treat it like any other diva, and you know, no disrespect to like the Melinas or the Gail Kims or whatever who just got their, you know, their pink slips and just kind of went on their way. I feel like AJ has been a prominent, you know, a figure, a prominent character on WWE programming for so long, for the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Not 8 years, but for the last 5 years. And I shouldn't go that far. But for the last 5 years, she's been a crucial figure, one of the most notable women on that show, one of the best workers, one of the most successful, that she deserves a final farewell, that's a tongue twister, in the WWE before she hangs it up. But like I said, I feel like we won't get that. But that being said, though, hashtag thank you, AJ. I was always a huge fan of your work. We'll continue to support you in whatever you do, and thank you for all the years that you contributed to the WWE for us. We very much appreciate it, and you know, very much best of luck in your future endeavors. I know it's a huge cliche, but still, we thank you, AJ, and look forward to seeing what you do in the future.